everyone, welcome to Biophilia, your all-time study mate. If you feel this video helps you to understand concepts better, do not forget to like, share and subscribe to our amazing channel. So let's start today's video by understanding about STI. So STI is also full formed as sexually transmitted infections. So sexually transmitted infections क्या होते हैं? They are going to be large group of diseases or infections which are going to be spread because of sexual contact. अब sexual contact की वजह से वो spread हो रहे हैं, so you can understand the reproductive tract is going to be involved in the infection. उसकी वजह से sexually transmitted infections को second name होता है, that is reproductive tract infections, shortened as RTI. So there are two short forms, that is STI and RTI, जिसके full forms you have to remember so that it would be easier to attempt the questions. अब ये जो sexually transmitted diseases या infections होते हैं, they were previously called as venereal diseases or shortened as VD. So they were including, that is chlamydia, gonorrhea, syphilis and genital herpes. So these are the four diseases which are spreaded only because of sexual contact. So because of sexual contact they are going to be spreaded. जबकि जो second two diseases है, that is AIDS and hepatitis B, these are spreaded by sexual means as well as other means. So ये other means कौन से होते हैं? Other means can be because of infected blood. It can be कि अगर infected blood किसी infected person में जाता है, in that case the second person can have this disease without the sexual contact as well. या फिर it can be because from the mother to the fetus. So mother to fetus जब blood जाता है, when the fetus is inside the mother's womb, in that case also these two diseases, that is AIDS and hepatitis B, can be transmitted to the next person. So that is the two diseases which can be spreaded by other means also. So now let's see about the next few points about this sexually transmitted infections. So hepatitis B, as I told you, hepatitis B and genital herpes along with HIV infections. So कौन से तीन infections है? Hepatitis B, genital herpes and HIV infections. These three are going to be the diseases जिसको cure करना is difficult. They are not completely cured because they are generally spreaded because of virus. बाकी के जो diseases है like chlamydia, gonorrhea, syphilis, they can be cured when they are detected and treated properly at early stages. But these three diseases, that is hepatitis B, genital herpes and HIV infection, it is not completely curable. So these three diseases you have to remember because it is important with the point of MCQs. So इसके ऊपर MCQs आते हैं that which diseases cannot be cured completely whereas others can be cured and treated when they are detected at early stages. Then another thing that we have to see about these infections, that is what are the symptoms. So if the disease has been seen at an early stage, so early stage symptoms क्या होते हैं? There is going to be the signals which are going to be seen at the genital region. अब genital region क्यों होता है? Because it is a reproductive tract infection. So there is going to be itching occurring at the genital region. There will be fluid discharge through that region. There is slight pain and swellings are observed at the early stages. But अगर वो sexually transmitted infections are at later stages, then the complications can include, that is pelvic inflammatory disease, there can be abortions, stillbirths, ectopic pregnancy, fertility and cancer of the reproductive tract. So अगर उसको अनदेखा कर दिया जाता है, if people do not understand that they are suffering from such infection, then they can have severe complications at the later stage. Now here there was a word that is called as ectopic pregnancy. So what is ectopic pregnancy? So I'll give a brief about it. That is, generally the embryo should get implanted into the linings of the uterus, that is the endometrium. But in some cases, when the embryo does not get implanted in the endometrium of uterus and goes at the rest of the place to get implanted, then that sort of pregnancy is called as ectopic pregnancy. So anywhere other than the uterus अगर implantation होता है, then that is the case of ectopic pregnancies. And others all the terms that you can understand very well. So moving ahead, about one important point, that is who are actually going to suffer because of these sexually transmitted infections. So most of the people are vulnerable to these infections, but there is high chances that the people who are at the age of 15 to 24, they are at high risk of these sexually transmitted infections. Now since you are at the stage between 15 to 24, uski wajah se this chapter has been included in your syllabus ताकि you are aware about these consequences as well. So since the vulnerable age group is 15 to 24, ये सारे बच्चों को या these people should understand the consequences of these infections. That is the reason you are learning about these chapters. So let's see about the first sexually transmitted infection, that is chlamydia. So chlamydia जो होता है, the causative agent is going to be a bacteria. A bacteria का जो नाम है, that is chlamydia trachomatis. Now this is going to be a bacteria who cannot reproduce outside the body. आउटसाइड द बॉडी वो रिप्रोड्यूस नहीं कर सकता है, सो इट नीड्स टू कम इनसाइड द बॉडी ऑफ द ह्यूमंस एंड देन दे इनसाइड द cells it will divide to spread infection. So this is an important point about chlamydia bacteria, that is it cannot reproduce outside the body of the humans. Next we are going to see the symptoms about this disease, that is chlamydia. So males के case में there is a principal symptom, that is urethritis, and in females the common infection is seen in cervix, that is resulting to cervicitis. So these are the two symptoms that are seen in the case of chlamydia. अब इसके spread कैसे होता है? Since chlamydia is going to be a sexually transmitted diseases, so that is going to spread through vaginal infection or anal or oral sex with someone who already has chlamydia. So if this is going to be happening, then the spread of disease is mostly possible. Second method by which the disease can be spreaded, that is from mother to the infant during the childbirth, not during pregnancy but only during the childbirth, when the fetus is actually transferring through that birth canal. During that time the fetus can contact the mother's lining and from there the infection can pass into the eyes. So importantly, infection kaha hoga? The infection will be there in the eyes of the infant. So the treatment can be by administration of tetracycline or doxycycline. So these are nothing but a sort of antibiotics, because antibiotics are going to work against bacterial infections. So that was about chlamydia. Now the second one, that is trichomoniasis. Now trichomoniasis is going to be spreaded because of a flagellated protozoan. So जो chlamydia था, that was because of a bacteria, but trichomoniasis होता है because of flagellated protozoan. So उसका जो नाम है, that is in the name of the disease, that is Trichomonasis vaginalis. Now the symptoms for this disease is going to be different for male and female. So females के case में there is going to be inflammation in the mucous membrane of the vagina, जबकि males में inflammation होगा at the urethra. So that was about trichomoniasis. Now let's see about the third, that is gonorrhea. Gonorrhea का जो causative agent है, that is bacteria named as Neisseria gonorrhea. The symptoms can be as there is a discharge from the infected mucous membrane. Discharge होगा, so some fluid would be coming out of that infected area. Then the site of infection, जहाँ पे infection है, that is going to be because a typical type of sexual contact. So if the sexual contact was as oral genital contact, तो जो infection will be seen, that would be at the mouth and the throat region. अगर वो sexual contact, genital contact था, then in that case it would be vagina and the penis. Now other symptoms can also be seen in the newborn's eyes. Similarly to that of chlamydia, gonorrhea के भी symptoms in newborn can be seen at the site of eyes of the newborn, and if this is infecting the eyes, the infection, if goes unnoticed, then the newborn can go blind. So it is an infection that needs to be addressed at the early stage to prevent blindness. अब उसका जो spread है, that is spread of gonorrhea, can be when the contact with the discharge happens. So जो discharge fluid निकलता है from the infected mucous membranes, अगर वो contact में आता है during the sexual contact, then the spread of this bacteria is going to take place, causing the other person to catch gonorrhea. The spread of disease can also happen in and during the passage for the newborn. So जब newborn birth canal से pass होता है, and if that newborn comes into contact with that discharge fluid, in that case the spread can also occur in the newborn. So there is a treatment for this disease, that is administering 1% of silver nitrate solution in the infant's eyes, and because of silver nitrate the infections would be stopped. And for adults you can also administer, there is again antibiotic which is going to help to prevent the bacterial infections. So now here the question is important for 1% silver nitrate. So 1% silver nitrate जो होता है, that is going to be important for gonorrhea. So question पूछा जा सकता है कि 1% silver nitrate is going to be the treatment for which disease? So the answer should be ticked as gonorrhea. Now even with these diseases that we are learning, you should have a comparative study about these diseases. So आपको comparative chart बनाना है, and in that chart you have to list down about the causative agent. Then you write down by which bacteria or by which organism's name that disease is actually spreading. So जहाँ पे gonorrhea है, so Neisseria gonorrhea should be your answer for the causative agent, because causative agents are the most frequently asked questions when the sexually transmitted infections are considered. Now let's see about the next disease, that is syphilis. So syphilis को French pox के नाम से भी जानते हैं. And now let's see who is causing this syphilis. So syphilis is caused by a bacterial infection, that is Treponema pallidum. Again this is a very important name for remembering for MCQs. So every disease के जो causative agents है, you have to remember their names with their disease or infection caused by them, and that will give you a good range for scoring marks better. अब जो spread of disease है for syphilis, that is going to be because of sexual contact and exchange of infected blood and as well as placenta to the fetus. So 3 types है जहाँ से spread of syphilis can occur. So what are the symptoms of this syphilis? Now syphilis is a very important disease as far as symptoms are considered. So symptoms यहाँ पे आपको stages में दिखते हैं. So if there is a primary stage patient, then the person is going to have painless open sore. Now this painless open sore is going to be called as chancre. Now this is going to be present at the point of contact wherein the discharge or the syphilis bacteria has come into contact with that particular membrane. तो उस जगह पे एक painless open sore develop होगा, but good thing is it will heal within 1 to 5 weeks time. But again there is a good news, उसके साथ bad news आती है, that there is a secondary stage that is going on at the back. Now this secondary stage is going to start when the 6 to 24 weeks. So first 5 weeks में तो the primary stage was there wherein the painless open sore was present. But from the 6 to 24 weeks, secondary stage starts wherein the patient can have skin rashes, fever, headache, aches in joints and muscles also start to pain, and all this thing when happens, that is called as secondary stage. Now this secondary stage will also disappear within 4 to 20 weeks. So पहले तो primary stage आया, 1 to 5 weeks में चला गया, but from 6th week again the secondary stage symptoms started to appear. They will get disappeared by 4 to 12 weeks, but again there can be a latent stage. Now this latent stage is going to be a symptomless stage. वहाँ पे कोई symptoms नहीं दिखेंगे, but if the blood test is done for that patient, then the blood test is going to show the presence of the bacterium. यानी ये कैसे हो रहा है, बैक्टीरिया दिख रहा है but there is no symptoms. In that case you can say that the patient is at the latent stage. Now this latent stage can be variable for person to person. जैसे जो पता है by the records that this latent stage can also be started till 20 years. 20 years तक भी ये latent stage पाया जाता है, and in that latent stage what is going to happen, जो bacteria infect कर रहा था to a localized area, now it will start to invade other organs. वो सिर्फ वो पर्टिकुलर मेम्ब्रेन के पास नहीं, it will spread to all over your body, and that would cause the next stage that is more dangerous, that is the tertiary stage. So tertiary stage में there would be signs of organ degeneration. During the time of latent stage जो बैक्टीरिया था वो अलग अलग organs में जाके फैल चुका है, and it has started to divide itself rapidly, जिसकी वजह से tertiary stage पे there is going to be organ degeneration happening at a very fast rate. Now very important point to remember, that is if at the tertiary stage the nervous system is getting involved because of the spread of bacteria, in that case the tertiary stage का नाम change हो जाता है by neurosyphilis. So जैसे I told you, from the latent stage till going to the tertiary stage, the bacteria is going to move through the bloodstream to various organs. So ये various organs हो सकते हैं your lungs, your gastrointestinal tract or any other system, but if it involves neurological system, that is nervous system, then it would be called as a neurosyphilis case, and in that case even your nervous system can undergo degradation. Next, if there treatment for syphilis, yes, there is a treatment if you have got the infection at primary, secondary or even at the latent periods. So first 3 stages तक, that is primary, secondary and latent period तक अगर ये बैक्टीरिया का presence मिलता है, in that case it can be treated with help of antibiotics, and majorly penicillin can also be involved with the course of antibiotics. So if the patient is at tertiary stage, so that is very difficult for the treatment, but early treatment, that is in primary, secondary or latent stage, can be done and can be successful for treating syphilis. Now let's see about genital herpes. So genital herpes is going to be a viral infection caused because of a virus which has two types, the type 1 and the type 2. अगर type 2 syphilis है, then that is HSV2, तो उसके जो symptoms होते हैं, they are, as in males they are going to be painful genital blisters, and in females they would be infection in vulva as well as in higher areas like the vagina. So you can see down here in the photograph that how the painful genital blisters are going to look like because of the second type of genital herpes virus. Now type 1 बैक्टीरिया वायरस की वजह से अगर इन्फेक्शन हो रहा है, in that case there would be cold sores seen at the region of mouth and lips. So these are the types of cold sores seen at a different location than the infection of type 2, that is mouth and lips. So the treatment for this genital herpes can be possible at early stages, but since it is a viral infection, it becomes difficult to treat this disease till complete cure. So the drugs that are going to be used for the treatment, they are only viral DNA replication drugs. So they will interfere with the stopping of the multiplication of the virus. Virus को मारने की जगह पे the multiplication would be reduced so that new viruses are not formed. But that is not a complete cure for this disease. Let's see about chancroid now. So chancroid is going to be caused because of a short gram negative bacillus. So again it is a bacterial infection. So chancroid is caused because of Haemophilus duceri, and the symptoms are going to be initial lesion. So there would be a sort of cuts that are going to occur at the initial stage, और जहाँ पे inoculation हुआ है, that is wherever there is a contact of this chancroid disease. In that case, that particular location is going to have a lesion, and once the lesion has been seen, there is going to be formation of a painful soft ulcer with a necrotic base. Now what is necrotic base? Necrotic base is going to be a dead place. So the tissues below the region of this painful soft ulcer, below that the tissue would be dead. So dead tissue को हम बोलते हैं, that is necrotic base. So the treatment for chancroid, again, since it is a bacterial infection, so basically it is going to be a sort of antibiotics dose for treating chancroid. Next is genital warts. This is going to be caused because of virus. So it is a viral infection that is caused by human papilloma virus. So genital warts cause किसकी वजह से होता है? That is human papilloma virus. Now this human papilloma virus that is causing genital warts can be treated with the help of cryotherapy or interferons and podophyllin. So interferons are the proteins which are going to fight against the viruses. So proteins against viruses which are naturally found in your body. So these are going to be harvested and treated for genital warts. Cryotherapy जो होता है, in the cryo word, that is using the cold therapy. So there is going to be liquid nitrogen that is involved in the cryotherapy. So वो cryotherapy की वजह से the warts can be treated. Next is going to be acquired immunodeficiency syndrome, also commonly known as AIDS. So everyone knows about AIDS, which is going to be caused because of a virus that is called as HIV. So HIV ka full form, even if you know about HIV, sometimes there is a case wherein you forget about the full form. So even the full form is important, that is human immunodeficiency virus. So the spread of the disease, as you must have read about this AIDS many a times, so you must know about these, that is it is going to be spreaded with the sexual contact either through vaginal, oral or any other source of intercourse. It can also be spreaded because of exchange of infected blood and also with the placenta to fetal exchange. So symptoms of this AIDS is going to be that the helper T cells are going to decline. So number of helper T cells is going to decline, and that is because of death of infected cells. So ये जो HIV virus है वो पहले जाके helper T cells को जाके kill करेगा. So when the helper T cells are going to get decline in their numbers, there is going to be collapse of the immune system. Immune system will not have the power to resist any other sort of infections or diseases. So what is going to happen? Immune system अगर वो person का weak हो जाता है, in that case there is going to be an infection of the opportunistic bacteria or microbes. So जो microbes are not capable of harming in normal conditions, so जिनकी immunity अच्छी है, when they are healthy, in those cases these microbes are not going to cause any harm, but HIV इन्फेक्शन की वजह से जब हेल्पर टी सेल्स कम हो जाने की वजह से इम्यून लो हो चुका है, इन दैट केस इवन दीज minutely harmed or harmless bacteria or microbes can also proliferate. So these are normally harmless, but still when they increase in their numbers, और ये increase हो रहे हैं, but still your body cannot fight against them because your immune system has collapsed because of the infection. In that case, there is going to be death because of other simple disorder because your immune system could not resist. यानी एड्स की वजह से डायरेक्टली किसी की डेथ नहीं होती है. डेथ कैन बी बिकॉज ऑफ अ सिंपल इन्फेक्शन और इवन अ सिंपल कोल्ड और फीवर. उसकी वजह से भी डेथ हो सकती है बिकॉज योर इम्यून सिस्टम इज नॉट able to fight against these small infections as well. So अगर आपकी body healthy है तो बुखार से तो you will get rid of it in few days, but because of this infection it becomes very difficult for your immune system to fight even against this normally harmless microbes, and in that case the person can have death with this AIDS disease. So treatment is possible but not a complete cure because again it is a viral infection. So the treatment can be with Retrovir or AZT, and that is going to be again to reduce the viral infection, that is उसका जो number है virus का वो कम करने में help होगा, but there won't be a complete killing of this virus, and because of which the AIDS cannot be completely cured. Now, let me ask you one question to be interactive with you guys. So, can you help me or try to get this answer? That is, when is the AIDS Day celebrated? So, let me know about this answer in the comments section down below so we can have an interaction together with this answer. So tell me about this by giving the answer that when is the AIDS Day celebrated. So let's test your knowledge and interaction with biophilia. So here is the little summary chart that we expect you to make by yourself with understanding and taking help with your other textbooks and our videos. So ऐसा एक chart expect करते हैं for your better understanding, that you write down the diseases, their causative agents and their symptoms and treatment and all other stuff that you know about this disease at one single page. So एक पेज पे ही आपका सारे notes बन जाएंगे and that will be easier to get revised at the end moment. So if you make such summary notes, that would be helpful for your last revisions. So let's start with a new small topic, that is infertility. So infertility क्या होता है? Infertility is going to be failure to conceive. यानी जो pregnancy है that is not going to occur even after trial for 1 to 2 years of regular unprotected sex. Even after this 1 to 2 years of trial, still if the female cannot get pregnant, in that case that could be a case of infertility. So infertility or sterility mein there is a huge difference, so that difference needs to be understood as you are bio students. So sterility is going to be complete inability, yani even after 1 to 2 years, say if whole life has been put up trying, but still the couple will not be able to produce offspring, in that case it is called as sterility. But infertility is going to be a kind of temporary issue which can be treated with certain procedures. So infertility can be classified into different mediums, that is primary infertility and second is secondary infertility. So primary infertility is going to be the case in the patients that have never conceived. So एक बार भी pregnant नहीं हुए हैं, in that case that is primary infertility. Secondary infertility जो होती है, it is found in the patients who have previously conceived. So first baby हुआ है, but during the second trial the infertility case has been taken up. So in this case it would be classified under secondary infertility. So let's see about the infertility issues in males. So males में infertility के क्या क्या reasons होते हैं? Let's try to understand about these. So first of all, before understanding what is infertility, fertile males के case में what are the points that we need to understand? So if the male is fertile, then the semen of the fertile male should have this three properties. First property होती है that is 2.5 to 5 ml of semen ejaculation should occur per trial. Then second is going to be the sperm count. Sperm count should be over 200 to 300 million. And the last one, that is most of the sperms should have proper motility, and even the semen should have proper fructose content and the percentage fluidity. अगर ये three conditions are perfectly satisfied, in that case the male is considered fertile. But अगर इन तीन पॉइंट्स में से कहीं पे भी क्रॉस लग जाता है, that is even if one condition is not appropriate, in that case there could be infertility condition. So infertility can be defect in either sperm count, it can be in sperm structure, it can be in sperm motility, and even in the fluidity of the semen. In all those cases the male can be called as infertile. Now there are four terms that you need to understand. These are very important terms to remember. So these are azoospermia, that is the case wherein there is absence of sperms. So अगर semen में अगर sperms नहीं दिखते हैं, in that case the condition is called as azoospermia. Oligospermia is the low sperm count. अगर 200 या 300 मिलियन के रेंज में अगर sperm count नहीं है, उससे कम है, then the condition is called as oligospermia. Then asthenozoospermia. Asthenozoospermia is going to be the defective sperm morphology. यानी sperm जैसे दिखना चाहिए. If it doesn't seem to be looking like that, in that case the condition is called as asthenozoospermia. And the last term, that is terectozoospermia, that is low sperm motility. उसकी अगर speed नहीं है उतनी to move into the tract of the female, in that case the condition is called as terectozoospermia. So you have to remember about these four conditions and their meanings so that your MCQs can go smoothly. So what are the causes of infertility in males? So infertility के basic reasons हमने देख लिए, but what are the causes of these defects? So first can be cryptorchidism, that is failure of testes to descend down into the scrotum. So अगर वो abdominal cavity में ही रह जाते हैं, if they do not descend down during the 7th month of fetal life, in that case the patient or the boy will be called having a condition cryptorchidism. So that would cause infertility at his adulthood. Second reason or the second cause, that is absence or blockage of vasa deferentia. So vasa deferentia अगर blocked हो जाता है, in that case the sperms will not be able to move from the testes to the urethra to get ejaculated. So this can be a reason that is used even for contraception surgical procedures. So if it is naturally occurring, then that could be a cause of infertility. Third cause होता है, that is hyperthermia or higher scrotal temperature. So higher scrotal temperature, so normally the scrotal temperature should be 2 or 3 degrees lesser than the body temperature. So if the scrotal temperature is higher, then the sperm formation is affected, and because of that there can be less count of sperms in the semen, and that can cause infertility in males. So ये जो high temperature होता है of the scrotal, that can be because of varicose veins. So varicose veins is a type of disease wherein the blood flow is affected. It can be because of some worms that are moving out in the blood, that is filiaris. There can be tight undergarment condition, or the male is working at hot environment. So hot environment is also going to cause oligospermia. So now you understand that why the terms were important. So oligospermia क्या होता है? Oligospermia means low sperm count. So that is the reason why I asked you to remember the above four conditions. So oligospermia can be the reason for infertility, and that is caused because of hyperthermia, that is higher temperature of the scrotal sac. Next cause can be because of alcoholism. If the male is drinking too much of alcohol, alcohol consumption बहुत ज़्यादा है, in that case spermatogenesis, that is production of sperms in the testis, that is going to be inhibited. Sperms produce नहीं होंगे. In that case the male will be called infertile. Next reason can be Klinefelter's syndrome. Now, Klinefelter syndrome is going to be a genetic disorder wherein the chromosome number for a fertile male should have been XY. So this is going to be for the fertile male. But अगर infertile male है, that is having Klinefelter's syndrome, in that case the chromosome number is going to be XXY. So there is an additional copy of X chromosome because of disintegration of chromosomes at the time of meiosis. So if that case occurs, तो XXY condition में the Klinefelter syndrome is going to inhibit the male characteristics and the male would be called infertile. Last cause is going to be discussed, that is low fructose content, or if there is high viscosity of the semen or low volume of ejaculation, यानी ejaculation that could have been 2.5 to 5 ml, अगर उससे कम है या it is too thick to be flown down through the tract, or if it is having low fructose content, all these are the causes that can have infertility in males. Now let's see for the case of females. So females के case में अगर infertility होती है, then we have to understand the fertile case as well. So fertile female जो होती है, she would be the female who would have regularity in ovulation. So ovulation every once the cycle is occurring, the female is able to pass her egg down the reproductive tract, यानी ovaries से fallopian tubes, then the uterus, cervix and the vagina, everywhere there is smooth passage, and once the smooth passage is seen with the passing down of the egg, that means even the sperms can come up till the egg. In that case the implantation can also occur and then the pregnancy can be successful. So that is the case for the female fertile. बट इफ द फीमेल इज नॉट फर्टाइल, यानी अगर इनमें से कहीं पे भी प्रॉब्लम है, इन दैट केस द फीमेल इज नॉट एबल टू प्रोड्यूस बेबीज इवन आफ्टर ट्रायल फॉर 1 or 2 years, in that case it is infertility condition. So causes in infertility are going to be first, that is anovulation, यानी पहली बात if the egg is not getting released, या फिर there is indeficient ovulation, यानी हो रहा है कि once a month जो एग रिलीज होना चाहिए, इफ इट इज एक्सटेंडिंग टू फ्यू मंथ्स, यानी 3 months में या 4 months में once the ovulation is occurring, in that case even after trial for many long months the egg and the sperm does not meet together, in that case there would be no fertilization. So an ovulation या oligo ovulation is going to be because of deficient functioning of hypothalamo pituitary complex, यानी जो hormonal secretions होने चाहिए wherein the ovulation can occur, that is hampered. Even sometimes in secondary conditions the thyroid gland or the adrenal dysfunctioning occurs, जिसकी वजह से ovulation is hampered. So in that case hormonal treatment can be started so that to regularize the ovulation, and that can be treated. सेकेंड कॉज होता है दैट इज लूटियल फेज डिफेक्ट. लूटियल फेज डिफेक्ट यानी देयर इज इनएडिक्वेट ग्रोथ एंड फंक्शनिंग ऑफ कॉर्पस लूटियम. नाउ कॉर्पस लूटियम यू मस्ट रिमेंबर इट फ्रॉम द ह्यूमन रिप्रोडक्शन चैप्टर. यानी जो कॉर्पस लूटियम है दैट इज गोइंग टू सिक्रेट प्रोजेस्टेरॉन. सो अगर कॉर्पस लूटियम का ग्रोथ और फंक्शनिंग प्रॉपर नहीं है, in that case there is reduced progesterone, and because of reduced progesterone there is going to be deficient functioning of endometrium. Agar endometrial lining is not sufficient, then the implantation is going to be hampered. So that luteal phase defect can affect the implantation of the embryo and again causing infertility in females. नेक्स्ट रीजन हो सकता है दैट इज ओवम इज नॉट लिबरेटेड, यानी ओवम इज नॉट एबल टू रिलीज इटसेल्फ एंड इट रिमेन्स इनसाइड द फॉलिकल. सो अगर वो फॉलिकल के अंदर ही बंद रह जाता है, दैट इज बिकॉज ऑफ हाइपर प्रोलैक्टीमिया. अगर ये कंडीशन है wherein the ovum is stuck into the follicle, then also it can cause infertility. Another reasons can be fibroid uterus, defects in cervix, or defective vaginal growth, and even congenital malformation of uterus. यानी अगर cervix, vaginal और uterus conditions are not favorable, in that case also infertility can be seen. And the last reason for this infertility can be fallopian tube जो catch करनी चाहिए the ovum when it is released. अगर fallopian tube does not have proper motility of its fimbriae, in that case there is going to be the loss of egg, यानी वो egg catch नहीं हो पाएगा. In that case there is going to be infertility seen. So this motility problems or loss of cilia or blocked lumen, यानी जो ट्यूब ऑफ द फेलोपियन ट्यूब्स है अगर वो ब्लॉक्ड है कहीं पे, दैट can be a cause of infertility because of infection or endometritis. So these were the some cases wherein the fertility can be seen in males as well as females. Now, as we saw about the different causes of infertility in males and females, so जो couple are not able to have babies, that are they are infertile, so by medical professionals they can be helped with use of ART. So ART is long as assisted reproductive technologies. So again the full form is going to be a very important MCQ because many people get confused between the T. So T को वो technologies है या techniques है, they get confused in that. So you have to remember as it is, that is assisted reproductive technologies. So how this is going to help these infertile couples, that is it started long years back, that is about 2 to 3 decades ago, with the start of in vitro fertilization जिसको IVF बोलते हैं. So IVF was the first technique to help these infertile couples. So क्या किया था ये IVF में? So first of all the person took out the woman's egg and the man's sperm. So एक woman से egg लिया, from the second man he took the sperm. Now he put or combined this gametes, that is egg and sperm, in a laboratory dish. Laboratory dish में जब उसको combine किया गया, that was when it was fertilized. For the first time the fertilization had happened outside the woman's body. यानी previous to this in experiment, always the fertilization occurred inside the female's body, but because of this experiment, for the first time fertilization of egg and the sperm happened outside the female's body. So that became revolutionary and that helped us to have advancement in to get the assisted reproductive technologies. So जब ये fertilization successful हुआ, in that case after 9 months, that is complete gestation period के बाद, first test tube baby was born. Now you should not laugh with the test tube baby word, that is actually the baby is not born into the test tube, वो test tube में बड़ा नहीं होता है, but the implantation occurs of the embryo in the female uterus. But only the fertilization occurs outside the body. So because of the fertilization occurring in laboratories in the petri dish, it is called as the test tube baby. So many people think about listening test tube baby that the baby was born or developed in the test tube. It is not like that. Only the fertilization occurs outside the woman's body. So now because of this experiment that was conducted, now there are different methods by which the assisted reproduction technology has been प्रिफर्ड. सो IVF एक ही तरीका नहीं है जहाँ पे they can help the infertile couples. Now there are many different ways by which this can be helped out according to the problems that they are facing. So जो art procedures है, they are going to have a disadvantage that they are very invasive and expensive. So that is only the disadvantage, that many people cannot afford the charges to get these procedures done for them. So disadvantage है the expensive, that is cost, which many people cannot afford. But as far as the health effects are considered, the health effects are not observed in the people who are born because of these art procedures. So for that, it is a very advantage effect. If the person can afford the cost of these procedures, then the baby that is born because of these procedures is not going to have any long-term health effects. So that is a very boon for the people who can afford these procedures. So now we have to see about a very important term, that is in vitro fertilization, and second that is in vivo fertilization. So यहाँ पे दो word है, that is the in vitro and the in vivo. अब ये दो terms में confuse नहीं होना है, because if you get confused in these two terms, that is going to create a big mess in your exam questions. क्योंकि in vitro जो होता है, that is the fusion or the fertilization takes place outside the female body. अगर outside का question है, that means they are asking you about in vitro fertilization. अगर fertilization taking place inside the female's body, then it is called as in vivo techniques or in vivo fertilization. So vivo stands for internal fertilization, whereas in vitro stands for external fertilization. So keeping these two terms in mind, we are going to study about these reproductive technologies one by one in detail. So let's start first with the in vitro techniques. So in vitro यानी क्या था? That is occurring outside the body. Fertilization is outside the body. So outside the body fertilization हो रहा है. That is similar to IVF. So let's start first with the in vitro fertilization called as IVF. So IVF is going to be the most commonly used procedures, जहाँ पे जो eggs होते हैं with the partner's sperm, they are going to be combined in a laboratory dish and the fertilization occurs externally. और जो भी embryos form होंगे because of the external fertilization, they will be kept for 3 to 5 days at the laboratory suitable conditions, and then the embryo will be placed into the uterus of the female. So in this case, only the fertilization takes place outside the body, but implantation and the further development of fetus will take inside the female body. सो इम्पॉर्टेंट, बाहर क्या हो रहा है? लैब्स में सिर्फ फर्टिलाइजेशन हो रहा है और बाकी की जो ग्रोथ एंड डेवलपमेंट है, दैट इज टेकिंग प्लेस इनसाइड द यूट्रस. सो दैट वाज अबाउट इन विट्रो फर्टिलाइजेशन. सेकेंड टेक्निक होती है, दैट इज इंट्रासाइटोप्लाज्मिक स्पर्म इंजेक्शन. सो अगेन हियर you have to remember about the long forms of these, that is it can be an important MCQ for long forms. So ICSI का long form क्या होता है? That is intracytoplasmic sperm injection. So intra, that is inside the cytoplasm of the sperm. So egg के अंदर के साइटोप्लाज्म में स्पर्म इज गोइंग टू बी इंजेक्टेड विद द हेल्प ऑफ लैबोरेटरी टेक्निक्स। सो जो मेल पार्टनर है उसके स्पर्म्स को कलेक्ट किया जाएगा एंड दे वुड बी प्लेस्ड इनसाइड द एग with the help of microscopic needle. So microscopic needle, as you can see in the photograph over here, that with the help of these microscopic needle the egg would be pierced and the sperm would be entering into the egg directly. So instead of having many eggs laying outside the egg in the petri dish that was happening in the previous method. So previous method that was IVF. IVF में क्या होता था, eggs collect किए जाते हैं, बहुत सारे sperms collect किए जाते हैं and they are left to fertilize themselves. But in this case, that is ICSI, in this case the specific sperms in limited quantity are collected and directly inserted into the egg cytoplasm. So in this case again the fertilization is occurring outside the body of the female and the resulting embryos will be placed into the uterus. So next technique is zygote intrafallopian transfer. Again the full form is important for MCQ, that is ZIFT. ZIFT stands for zygote intrafallopian transfer. So as the name you can understand the meaning कि क्या हो रहा है in this procedure, that is fertilization will take place outside the body, zygote will be formed और वो zygote को the fallopian tube के अंदर ट्रांसफर किया जाएगा. So that is a layman language to understand this technique. So this method is going to be a very successful method at the help of test tube baby program. So क्या होता है ये टेक्निक में, फर्स्ट ऑफ ऑल द ओवा इज गोइंग टू बी कलेक्टेड. सो ओवा का जो कलेक्शन है दैट कैन बी आइदर डन फ्रॉम द वाइफ or the female donor. So if in the case the infertile female is not able to produce ova, that is if it is an on ovulation or oligo ovulation case, तो उस condition में the ZIFT can be suitable, wherein either the female donor or the wife is going to provide the female gamete ova and the sperms are going to be collected either from the husband or the male donor. So similarly donors can be available for both male and females. So ये जब दो gametes collect हो जाएंगे, they would be introduced into the laboratory with the stimulated conditions to form a zygote. So fertilization हुआ बाहर, so that is a in vitro technique. So once the zygote has been formed or if it is been kept for longer periods till there is a early embryo stage. So early embryo stage कितना होता है, that is up to 8 blastomeres. If it is up to 8 blastomeres, so ये zygote या फिर up to 8 blastomere stage of embryo is going to be transferred into the fallopian tube. In that case it would be called as ZIFT. अगर बहुत देर तक रखा गया, that is if the embryos pass their 8 blastomeres stage, that is they are more than 8 blastomeres, then they would be transferred into the uterus. Instead of fallopian tube उसको ट्रांसफर कर दिया जाएगा in the uterus, जिसको टेक्निक का नाम चेंज हो जाएगा, that is intrauterine transfer. So that is IUT. So this is a very important part that you have to remember कि अगर ZIFT है, that is ZIFT है, in that case it is zygote or early embryo up to 8 blastomeres. So question हमेशा twist करते हैं कि if the fertilization has occurred outside the female body and the early embryo with 8 blastomeres is to be transferred where? So is it fallopian tubes or the uterus? So अगर 8 blastomere stage तक है, then it is fallopian tube with the technique called ZIFT, or if it is more than 8, it is in the uterus by the technique of intrauterine transfer. So this is the important part of the in vitro techniques. Now let's see about the in vivo techniques. So in vivo क्या होता है? Fertilization is going to occur inside the female body. So fertilization अगर inside the female body है, then the techniques change. So first is going to be about the gamete intrafallopian transfer. So gamete intrafallopian transfer, shortened as GIFT. So this GIFT is going to be different than the ZIFT. So ZIFT जो होता है, that is going to be in vitro, that is fertilization occurring outside, whereas the GIFT, that is gamete intrafallopian transfer, that is a in vivo technique. So this is an important point that you have to remember as the difference. So gamete intrafallopian transfer, the GIFT, is going to be a technique wherein there is the transfer of ovum. So ovum can be either collected from the donor. In this case, the female is unable to produce ova. Ova अगर produce नहीं हो रहा है, या the pathway for the ova transfer or the transport has been blocked, in that case the ova can be collected from the donor and transported into the fallopian tube. जब डोनर से कलेक्ट करके फेलोपियन ट्यूब में रखा जाएगा ऑफ अनदर फीमेल, इन दैट केस द जिफ्ट कैन बी यूटिलाइज. यानी ये ऐसे पेशेंट्स के लिए है वेरिंग द फीमेल कैन नॉट प्रोड्यूस ओवा बट हैज द सुटेबल एनवायरनमेंट फॉर फर्टिलाइजेशन एंड डेवलपमेंट. यानी उसका इम्प्लांटेशन टेक्निक्स आर गुड, only the fallopian tube has been blocked or there is insufficient ova production. In all those cases, this gift can be a real-time gift for those infertile females. Second is going to be artificial insemination. Artificial insemination, that is going to be a technique wherein the infertile male is going to be a condition wherein it is unable to achieve the erection of the penis. If there is inability to erect the penis, in that case it is called as a condition of impotence. यानी अगर the male cannot erect his penis to inseminate the female, that is a condition called as impotence. In that case, the semen is going to be collected artificially. So semen collect किया जाएगा from the husband or the healthy donor, and that would be artificially introduced into the vagina or the uterus. So vagina या uterus में जब artificially inseminate किया जाएगा, then it would be a possible chance to treat the infertility of the males. So अगर ये artificial insemination uterus में होता है, if the artificial insemination occurs in the uterus, then it would be called as intrauterine insemination, that is IUI. So here again you have to remember, जैसे confusion होता है between gift and zift as we saw with the previous point. यानी gamete intrafallopian transfer है या it is gamete intrafallopian transfer. So in that case there is confusion even in the intrauterine transfer, that is IUT, that is the case wherein the embryo with more than 8 blastomeres stage is transferred into the uterus. So this T is stands for transfer. जबकि अगर आपको IUI आता है, this IUI is going to be full formed as intrauterine insemination. So IUI is a technique of in vivo fertilization, and IUT is going to be a in vitro condition. So again there is a chance of confusion, so it should be avoided to go for negative markings. तो यहाँ पे दो confusion के points जो बहुत बार देखे जाते हैं, that has been cleared out, and hope that you do not make these mistakes. Next is going to be about donor egg or embryo. So in the case wherein the female is not able to conceive because she cannot have her own eggs, in that case another woman who is an egg donor, so she is only going to provide eggs for the another female. So eggs would be harvested and it would be mixed with the partner's sperms, and the resulting embryo will be transplanted into the uterus of the unable female. So you can see here in the diagram that this female, the first female, she is going to be the one who is not able to conceive with her own eggs. अब ये जो मेल है वो अपने sperms देगा, and the female who is a egg donor, so she is the egg donor. So the egg donor will contribute her eggs, the male will contribute his sperms, and when they two fertilize, the embryo formation take place, and the embryo is going to be supplied to the infertile female who can provide the implantation conditions. So once the embryo has been implanted into this wife, then the further processes is going to take place in the wife who was not able to develop her eggs. Last technique is surrogacy or use of gestational carrier. So it can also be referred as it can be referred as uterus on rent or rental uterus. So in this case what happens, another female is going to carry the embryo for the gestational period, यानी जो male and female है who are providing their gametes, the female is not going to carry her own embryo, but some other woman is going to carry the embryo or is going to donate the embryo up till the term, that is up till the female fetus is ready to be delivered. Till that period of time the woman is going to carry the embryo, the fetus would be developed. In that case it is called as surrogacy. So again you can see in the help of this diagram, that is these are the parents who are providing their gametes. So egg is provided by the intended female and sperms of the intended male. Now this fertilization occurs inside the female's body and the embryos have been collected from the intended female. Embryo collect करने के बाद gestational carrier के अंदर, that is a surrogate, is going to be used as a womb rent. So her uterus is going to be carrying that fetus, and finally the child or the fetus that is born is going to be given up to the parents. So जिनके gametes थे उन्हीं का genetic component would be used. Only the womb or the uterus is going to be used for some other female. So this is a technique wherein it can be used जहाँ पे implantation problems है. So fibroid uterus or the malfunctioning of uterus can be helpful with the help of surrogacy. So even those females can dream to have her own child with the help of surrogacy. So this brings us to the end of this chapter, that is reproductive health. I hope these videos help you to understand these topics in a better way. All these topics were just for your educational purposes. You should not misbehave with these topics. Only to have educational purpose you should use these videos and this information. So with this we complete our chapter for this. So we will come back soon with one more amazing chapter very soon, and till then we expect you to support us by like, share and subscribe to this channel. And till then keep smiling, keep studying hard till we meet with the next chapter. Till then, seeing off. Bye bye. Thank you.